Barbie 2023 is a movie that has a lot to say about womanhood. I mean, it makes sense. It's a movie made by women about a doll that was created to represent them, at least in a way, and with the many possibilities girls had for their futures, outside of just being moms with babies to take care of and food waiting to be prepared by this doll. I was surprised, though, at what this movie had to say about mothers and daughters. Even more surprised at how much it moved me. More so than America Ferrera's speech on the struggles of being a modern woman, even if all she said was ringing true. I should have seen it coming from every corner, though. All of Greta Gerwig's movies have something to say on what's certainly one of the most formative relationships a woman has throughout the course of her life, being the emotional core of Lady Bird and counting as some of the most important scenes of Little Women. Also, Barbie was literally created by a mother to her young daughter. And Greta's understanding of the fact that it all starts with a mother's desire not to put her own daughter in a box, to not reduce her to the very role that Ruth herself was exercising, and the contradictions that live in that situation are what makes this film work as well as it does. Barbie was Ruth's daughter's nickname, so it's no coincidence that at the end, we have her with Barbie the doll as she finishes her process of self-actualization. But we'll circle back to that. First, we're presented with Gloria and Sasha, the humans, going through the very human process of not knowing how to connect with a 13-year-old that barely feels like she can connect with herself. And in a way, the experiences we see Barbie going through, the first time feeling self-conscious, the discovery of breakdowns, and figuring out that the world's not really cut out for your success and for things that are totally outside of your control. I think they give us a glimpse on what's probably making it so hard for Sasha to be honest and vulnerable with her own mother. And through Barbie's genuine and unabashedly sweet connection to Gloria, once they figure out that they're the tethered ones, Sasha is able to let her own guard down and figure out the benefits of letting other people in, as well as the importance of helping other women and standing up for each other, instead of just antagonizing each other for minimal differences. All it takes is a moment of honesty between her and Gloria, of not only showing her vulnerable side, but allowing her mother to show her humanness as well, to not feel like she had to act like she had it all together all the time. That they're just human, ugly sides and all. Unsurprisingly, this moment is the key to inspire Gloria's latest speech, where recognizing the ugly parts is what ultimately allows the Barbies to stand together and fight for their common cause. And it's all because they, Gloria, Sasha, and our stereotypical Barbie, allowed themselves to be vulnerable and honest when it mattered most. Circling back to my initial point, I believe that Gloria and Sasha established the emotional work of the complexities of the mother-daughter relationship through a more grounded, relatable scenario, which is empirical to the emotional climax of the movie. It might be relevant to point out that I watched this opening night with my mom in coordinating pink outfits, but when the ghost of Ruth Handler tells Barbie that the mother stays still so daughters can look back on and see how far they come, it hits. There's so much packed into a single line. The continuous progress of the women's rights movement, meaning that hopefully each generation of women gets dealt a slightly better hand than the next, as well as the backwards ideal we must force ourselves to accept seeing our mothers be subjugated to because they were raised in different times. It's waving her goodbye as you leave your childhood home and move on to a new chapter of your life, where, by the very nature of things, she can't be as present as she was when that home represented your entire world. It's the fights, the arguing over life choices one would or would not make. But it's also the sometimes wonderful, sometimes dreadful understanding of what it means to be a woman in a man's world. Of the things you don't have to talk about to know that they're out of your reach through no fault of your own. But in moments such as this, in a packed theater, with our matching outfits we spent weeks discussing and planning, and reaching out for her hand to give it a squeeze, as Ruth tells Barbie that her future is her own to choose and to live, and all she can do is cheer her on, is that understanding can be truly a magical thing to see being acknowledged.